How are you, my friend?
Sorry, I was running a tad late. It's been a weird day.
It has been a long day for me. It has been a long day for me. I didn't ask about the weapon. You asked about the EED of defense. Okay, got it, got it. Yes, you are my go-to person to listen to. Oh, thank you, Five Survived Eight. I appreciate that. I was just telling them I'm a little tired, so you may have to carry us tonight, sir.
No, kind of an odd day. A simple, I always talk about serving papers. I don't advertise to serve papers in my area, and nobody does it. Um, I try to mix it in with my investigations. So I had a notice of hearing to
Thanks for
serve,
the
and I glance over it and get the particulars, of course, the address and all that. And I assumed it was an adoption case. And so I go to what I would call a very terrible location, terrible mobile home. And I happened to show up just in time as this lady was leaving with an extremely elderly lady. I served the papers. I was in the same town, so I drop off my affidavit. And I'm telling them, wow, y'all sent me to this really crummy place and whatever. Well, they start listening to me talk about what happened. And it turns out that it's two daughters fighting over grandma.
Oh
And,
no.
and grandma is being treated for cancer and receiving super heavy duty pain medication. And the people I went to are the pain medication loving side of the family, and the other side is the legit side of the family. And so they have a hearing where grandma's going to be placed,
Hey, Nikki.
which is terrible to think about that you're holding grandma hostage to get her meds.
So it is sort of like an adoption case, but the person at risk is not a minor.
Exactly. So I've
That's
got to
horrible.
go. Now I have to go to court Thursday. The lawyer was there, and she's like, "Jeff, can you come to court Monday?" And I was like, "Sure." And then I've got another child custody. I worked in the area, so it's been kind of a weird day.
Wow. Five Survive Eight, thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate it. You guys, while we're getting started in here, if you wouldn't mind tapping the screen, you're already at 3,300 taps. Grab the heart me if you can. Make sure you show some love over here to Jeff. I'm going to let him introduce yourself or himself if you haven't met him. Sarah Sue, hello. So go ahead, Jeff. You can go first.
Law enforcement, 16 years, private investigator, 24 years. Do full service, a lot of different things. Do a lot of criminal defense work as a private investigator. I'm a declared expert in 3 states, Tennessee, West Virginia, Virginia, including at the federal level for homicide, evidence collection, police procedure, use of force, narcotics, DUI, and car crash.
And he does it all from memory. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, now you know I ask you every week, so I have to ask you again. Have you ever been the subject of a Daubert hearing? Thank you,
Well,
man.
yeah, everybody always attacks me every time I go. Well, a couple of times I don't get attacked too bad, but pretty much every time I get attacked. But I've never been defeated.
That was my next question, but have you ever lost a Daubert hearing?
No.
Hey, Big T, nice to see you. All right, so if you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, hello, my name is Tats. I'm a full-time paralegal, a 24/7 crime junkie. I hold a degree in criminology, a master's degree in legal studies, and I teach law at the university level. I am not, nor will I ever be an attorney because I prefer to be the family disappointment. So I cannot give you legal advice. I cannot give you legal advice. Anything I say on my content, my comments, or my lives is my opinion only. If you need the services of an attorney, please seek one out in your area. All right, so big thing today. I don't know, Jeff, if you've been paying attention to the Nancy Guthrie stuff.
Yeah, I did. I talked to some of my people today. I'm trying to be a pain in the ass. I got to be careful not to aggravate certain people.
Jeff, a pain in the ass? What?
It's about favors and not being, too big of a pain. But long story short, the media got hold of some neighbor cam footage. A lot of people are focused in on one vehicle. My sources say same thing. They don't believe she's around. There is a big mess out there. And the video, I think that's going to be on some of the media probably within the next, even maybe tonight. I didn't ask details like how far this camera is and directions and all that. But they captured about between 10 and 15 different vehicles late at night.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were focused on one particular vehicle. However, there were several vehicles. Nothing detailed like tags and all that, unless they can enhance it. But it's basically shapes, colors, direction of travel.
Yeah, I actually saw it. It's about 2 minutes long. It's out on Fox News if you guys want to see it. It shows 4 or 5 different vehicles going 2 different directions. One of them I thought, and like it's hard to make them out, right? It's a black and white. It's at night. They start at like 12:30 a.m. goes all the way to like 2:30 a.m. The one that caught my eye, and if you're in here and you were in the crime, I think it's the Crime Hoppers live that I was in last night. Thank you, Big Two. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was, Sarah Sue. I will say that one was going a lot faster than the others, but I was in the Crime Hoppers live last night. We created a timeline with over 100 entries on this timeline of the Nancy Guthrie case, which was, to me, a lot of fun. I think I probably exhausted some people because we were up till midnight. But as you know, I am the queen of, if nothing else, timelines and spreadsheets. So we put that together. And one of the things on there is a bolo for a blue Chevy Malibu. And then there's another 911 call that came in the early morning of, I think it was 2 a.m. on February 1st, which obviously is the day she was reported missing. That was some woman yelling out of a window in a blue Chevy Malibu. So, and that Malibu did not have a plate on it. And one of those, were you in there, Spud? You thought it was fun? That's just pretty much a day in the life for me. But one of those cars going back and forth does actually resemble, to me, and again, you've got 2 or 3 cactuses in front. It's going between
there's some kind of black box. I don't know what that is that's out front.
I think it's a mailbox. It's the front of the house, and you can see the landscaping, which has some pretty big cacti in front of it. And the cars are going through it. Now, like Sarah Sue said, one of them's going a hell of a lot faster than others. But if you've ever lived in a neighborhood, which I live on a very busy street, but so everybody goes way too fast on my street. But if you've ever lived in a neighborhood, there's always that one asshole that you live next to that travels way too fast through the neighborhood, right? So it could just be that. We can't just jump to conclusions on it. But with that bolo for a blue Chevy Malibu, and one of those cars, to me, that was going, it would be going, I don't know which direction it is, but it's going to the left on the video. Jeff, if you have time to look at it later, let me know and I'll send it to you. But to me, it kind of looked like a Chevy Malibu, or resembled, let's put it this way, resembled a 4-door sedan type car. Sure. We'll put it that way, a mid-sized sedan. So yeah, that's the big thing and they turned the house back over to
the
family, which was the big thing. And now they're telling all the media to leave. So
yeah, another thing too, I mean, my understanding is her street a through street, or is it kind of a cul-de-sac?
She is at the end of a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, so I would think it would be pretty easy to eliminate the normal traffic compared to the odd traffic. I think it seems to me like it should be pretty easy to say, okay, we can't be 100%, but this is the norm. The white SUV that belongs to Betty's house or Frank's house or
right.
whatever.
We know that car. I know, that's the neighbor. That's the neighbor's daughter. That's the neighbor's son that comes and visit. Rachel and LLA and Bolo, I apologize. Bolo means be on the lookout. Yeah. And that's what they use. They issue a bolo for a person, for a vehicle, something like that. And then they usually have a reason why they're boloing that vehicle or person. The other thing that came in, and I don't know if you saw this, was a 911 call from a person who refused to be identified, who refused to give her name, refused to give her vehicle, but said she had a backpack related to the disappearance and that she was dropping it at a specific area for someone to come pick up. I have not heard a follow-up on that, whether or not that was a hoax or that was actually related, but that came in late last night.
And my guys on the East Coast, and of course, my contacts are East Coast. They're not there at the scene, but everybody talks. They're getting a lot of nutty things like, my husband's the one that did it. You need to come to arrest him, or
It's easier than divorce, right?
Yeah, so somebody's mad at somebody,
right?
So they're getting, probably for every 100 calls, there's probably 5 or 6 that may be legit, and the rest are just nut jobs.
Sarah Sue, don't go getting ideas from here. Somebody said it could all be Amazon drivers, and you're right, Adelina. In fact, Nancy Guthrie had a UPS package delivered either today or yesterday that one of the sheriff's officers took. So it could definitely be a driver. And Sarah Sue, don't go doing that to your husband. We would know where you found that, yeah. Which is hindering a resolution. Yeah. No, I don't think she was found. I mean, I have no indication that she was found. Anyone else have that? The last update I have was that car video that we're talking about, which is somebody's Ring camera about 2 miles away. Somebody put in the chat.
And I think the communication from law enforcement I think you could do a much better job at it, in that we've reviewed this video. Here are the 3 vehicles that we're interested in. Here's what we believe they are. Instead of this video getting put out and everybody speculating.
I will say this, and I'm going to go out on a limb here because I watched that video several times. I zoomed in. One of them does design, how do I put this nicely, or not nicely, but safely? One vehicle, in my opinion, does resemble a Land Rover, or I should say a mid-size SUV, which, as you know, they took a Land Rover into custody. I think they actually released the Land Rover, but it does look like a Land Rover.
Yeah, the SUVs that I saw just briefly looking at it were all white, and I think the one they stopped or impounded was kind of a dark gray or almost black color.
Right. Rico, thank you for that follow. You guys, thank you for tapping the screen. Please tap the screen while you're listening to us. If you're not following Jeff, make sure you follow Jeff. If you're not following me, make sure you follow me. Usually we have our friend Brian on with us. Brian has taken on some huge projects lately and is not going to be able to join us for the foreseeable future. I talked to him last night. He does send his love to everybody. You'll see him around, but you probably won't see him on live all that much. He's just, look, he's a popular guy and he's busy. So
he's got the NYC covered.
He's done really well getting leads off of social media for he's doing of all things, he's doing a lot of cheating work, if that makes any sense. He's tracking down cheaters. Thank you so much, Lisa M, for that octopus on my head. I appreciate that. So that's pretty much what's going on with Nancy Guthrie. If you were in the Crime Hoppers live last night till midnight, we put a timeline together that is shared out with the Crime Hoppers, and I've told them they can share it out with whoever they want to. What else is going on? Nothing on Luigi before someone asks me. That's totally normal. But Monday is the deadline for the AUSA to file an appeal on that decision that Judge Garnett issued on January 30th, dismissing counts 3 and 4 of the indictment and therefore dismissing the death penalty. So we will know what's going on in Luigi's case come Tuesday, right? Because they do have a history of filing things super duper late on the days that they are available. What's that Mark and Jacob are handling in the Weinstein case? That I would have to look up LLN. Is that some sort of appeal in the Weinstein case? Thank you, 5 Survived 8. I appreciate that. And then the other thing I want to let you guys know, and Big T is in here. She is one of the people who turned me on to this next case. And then Jeff, I'll turn it over to what's new with you. Is I'm going to start covering the Karmelo Anthony case, and just to give you like a thumbnail, a very general thumbnail of that. Karmelo Anthony was 17 years old last April. I believe it was April 2nd, but don't quote me on that date, of 2025, when he, got into an altercation with four other boys after a track meet. Thank you so much, Polly. I appreciate that. Got into an altercation with four boys after a track meet, and allegedly stabbed one of the boys to death. And he is now charged with first-degree murder in Collin County, Texas. We're going to start going through that case. That case does have a gag order on it, so it's a little bit difficult to kind of piece together, but we're going to do what we can. We actually have that scheduled for not this Saturday, but next Saturday. We're going to do a panel review of that with people who know more about it than I do. And I'm going to do some research Tats style before then. I'll present it the way Tats does, and then we're going to have people come up and tell you. There's actually one person who actually viewed the video of the altercation and the alleged stabbing. Hopefully he'll join us and tell you what he saw. He viewed that video 3 times, and that is what turned me on to this case, because there was something else that he said in there too that I actually am very uncomfortable repeating, but it kind of gave me the idea that there might be race issues within this case. And that's kind of made, between him describing the video and saying that, made me kind of sit straight up and say, I think I need to take a look at this. So.
And two, I think there's some argument about stand your ground and self-defense, and I think there's a lot of things that people have thrown out there. I don't know, other than I have watched a little bit of the video. Again, it's not the best, what I saw.
If you saw the video, you saw more than I did, because they have a gag order on it, and you have to actually go into, in fact, now you can't do it anymore because someone got caught trying to videotape the video. But you used to have to sign in and go view the video in person instead of them disseminating it.
Yeah, I saw it when this case first started, before the gag order, and they probably tried to scrub it. I don't know if you can find it now, but I did see it maybe once or twice very early on, within a day or two of the event.
Got it. You saw it too, Polly? Yeah, I did not see that. So you guys are way ahead of me on it. So stand your ground probably wouldn't work. The way that Texas stand your ground law is written, I took a look at that actually yesterday. He's probably better off alleging, or, doing a self-defense, affirmative defense. Yeah, 4-on-1 is kind of like unfair. The guy who here's the sad reality of this is, both Karmelo Anthony and the decedent were 17 years old. Karmelo is now 18. And that is the sad reality of it, that two people have just, one has lost their lives and the other life will never be the same. But getting to the bottom of what actually happened versus what's being reported happened, and what, some people may be trying to sway back and forth. I think my view of this is, I want the truth to come out. And when I heard some, shall we say, racially charged verbiage that had been used at the funeral, it made me sit up and take notice. And then when I started digging into some other stuff, I thought, okay, this might have something to do with racial bias. But we will do that next Saturday. Jeff, you're welcome to come and be a panelist as well. We always invite you.
It's been a while since I saw the video. I don't know how long that's been since that happened. It's been quite a while.
It was April 2nd of 2025. So we're not quite a year, almost a year ago.
It looked very verbal, and it's not very conclusive. I will say a couple things. It looks verbal. It looks conclusive. And, that was kind of my memory of the take that I took from it. And I know there was also some argument as to why someone would have had a knife there, and that's restricted. And I'm sure they'll argue that, but it looks very verbal. It's not, it's fairly subtle, if that makes sense. It's not over the top.
Yeah. So according to the guy who was describing the video, again, you guys have seen the video. I have not. I'm going from this guy's description, and he's viewed it 3 times at the sheriff's office. Karmelo actually did try to retreat So, and there was 4-on-1, and the boy who was murdered, or killed in the whole thing was substantially larger than Karmelo. Now, does that mean anything in the grand scheme of things? Yes, I think it does. Andrea, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But again, I wasn't there and I haven't seen the video, but I'm just going off what somebody told me. But there was a lot of things that kind of raised my eyebrow in this. And like I said, I had a nice conversation with Big T last night, putting the pieces together to do this live with a panel on Saturday with people who know more about it. I do want to be very careful in what we say, because there have been threats against Karmelo's family, and we certainly don't want to exacerbate that or make it any worse for the family. Again, I'm just here to get to the truth of the matter. And I'm sure Jeff would probably agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that'll be next Saturday. I think it's March 7th. Can you believe next week is March? And we'll do a panel, and you guys are all invited. And we're going to try to do it on studio so we can share some pictures. Actually, yep, you're welcome, Big T. It's my pleasure to do that. I actually started pulling some pictures last night of the stadium. So next week when we talk before the panel, I might have you walk me through like exactly where it was, if you saw the video or not. Yeah, it will be, Selena. It'll be certainly interesting. Hello there, Jimmers. Nice to see you. So what is going on with you, Jeff? I feel like I'm taking over everything. I'm going to let Jeff talk for a little while.
No, you're fine. Let's see, yesterday, a lot of phone calls. I was vetting a potential Ian Bick podcast guest. It was a local who was 21 years old, never been in trouble, country boy, goes to a house party, walks in the room, and his girlfriend is engaged in, let's just say, activities. He starts punching him and kills him.
Oof.
And at 21 years old, never been in trouble, he just got out of pulling 25 years.
Wow, he just got out, so he did his 25.
He did his 25.
Did he plea, or was there a trial?
It was a trial.
And where was this? In Virginia?
Yeah, it was here and locally where I live.
Oh, my God.
So the backstory is, for someone who's never been in trouble, your life changed on a Saturday night, and you pulled.
Because your girl was a hoe.
You pulled 25 years. Probably didn't mean to kill him.
What was he convicted of? Do you know?
Second degree.
Second degree. Okay.
Yeah. And because it was spur of the moment, no premeditated, no
Right.
robberies, none of that.
Yeah. Somebody was asking about EED earlier. That could be a good example of EED, but go ahead.
And so and I actually spoke with him yesterday, and just the thought of like it would be like me or you getting all of a sudden Tats is gone for 25 years, and
Right.
the mental, how you cope with that, coming out of that, how the hell terribly does that affect you? And so, that was an interesting conversation to have with someone. And, and I told the producers of the podcast, I said, that's something I would want to watch. I would want to.
Oh, absolutely.
I
I think what we don't, one of the studies that I did about recidivism when I was doing my master's degree was some of the things that you don't realize with recidivism. Obviously this kid is a kid. He's probably in his 30s.
40
something, yeah.
He's 45.
Yeah. So when you think about recidivism, which recidivism is the repeat offender, right? The people who are in and out of prison all the time. And when you study reasons why that happens, it's easy to point to like drug use or addiction or anger issues or, failure of the home structure, things like that. But another thing that people don't understand, and this guy, I would be really interested to hear his take on this, is when you are in for so long, let's say 25 years, and you have someone, and all the women in here, I want you guys to think like marriage, right? Sorry, Jeff. But you think, you wake up every morning and someone feeds you. Every afternoon, someone gives you lunch. You have shelter. You have health care. You have entertainment, right? All of our prisoners have TVs now.
You're
You've got you've
institutionalized.
got access to education. You've got access to religion, if that's what you want. Now, would I want to be in jail versus out? Hell no, because our jails are so overcrowded, and anybody who wants to be in there, mm, let me, that just means to me like you haven't been in the worst ones, right? But when that's all you know for 24, 25 years, when someone has fed you, kept you clothed, kept shelter over your head, taken care of all of your needs, given you education and stuff, and then you come out and they're like, okay, you're free, go do it. Well, for 25 years, this guy hasn't had to do that.
Absolutely. And the most simple things like pay a bill, write a check,
Right.
uh,
Find a job,
exactly.
find a place to stay. Like, how do you apply for an apartment? How do you, when you have no credit rating, you have no job history for the last 25 years, that isn't 25 cents an hour working in the kitchen or, like mopping floors and stuff in the dispensary in the prison. So it was really good exercise for me to put that paper together, like I said, when I was doing my master's degree, because it opened my eyes to things that you don't think of. It's really easy to say, well, he had a problem with addiction and so he was in and out of the criminal justice system. But there's a lot of people who just can't, they can't, how do you say, just get out of that I'm being taken
Cycle.
care of mindset. And they think, well, if I commit another felony, then I go back in and all my needs are taken care of.
Well,
And that's a
I'm
good
sorry.
question. LLN wants to know, where is he living? Is he in Virginia now?
Yeah, he's still in Virginia, but not locally where the crime took place.
That's
Uh,
probably good.
and when I talked to him, he said, I didn't want to put myself in a position of, and I'm not justifying at all what he did. I put a lot of people in jail. However, can you imagine going in for a job and you go, hey, I'm a convicted murderer? And
Right.
that's all they hear. Not, I was a 20-year-old, 21-year-old kid, walk into a room and lose my mind in a jealous rage. And, I think I'm going to punch a guy and ends up killing him.
Right. Right. Now it's second degree murder. I mean, that's what I was going to ask. So did the guy, do you know anything about the crime? Like, did he punch the guy fell, he hit his head and he
No.
died, or?
He knocked the girl off of him. I mean, they were actually engaged in the act, and he got on top of him in the bed and started punching him in the face.
Until he was done.
Yeah.
That's unreal. I had a case where a guy struck a guy in the face. He lost his balance. They were on like a street. He lost his
Very
balance, fell
common.
backwards, hit just the right area of his head on a curb, between the curb and the street. And the way that he had a skull fracture, but also a broken neck, like just the way that he hit it, and he died. And he was charged with second degree murder, right? There was no intent. There was an intent to injure. There was certainly an intent to hit him, but there was no intent to kill him. And he was also charged with, LLN, 100%. I agree. No relationship is worth that. But I think we've all, and then we talk about this in the Luigi case a lot. We've all gotten to that point where we are so angry. We just want to, we want to hit somebody, but there's some sort of filter that goes, okay, but wait, we got to step and walk away. I'm just going to walk away. I'm just going to walk away. But sometimes that filter just doesn't work. And unfortunately, I think in this case, that's what happened. Hey, user with a bunch of numbers.
How much time did the guy get that fell and hit his head?
That was in Georgia, and I believe he got 20 years eligible for parole. So he's probably out. But he pled. He pled out. He didn't do a trial. Your ex is lucky to be walking around. Okay, let's not get on to the whole. We've all had those exes as well. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's some exciting stuff you got going on, Jeff.
Well, that was kind of a vetting process. A lot of these podcasts want referrals. They
Right.
want it to be a little bit vetted before they consider somebody. So it's just like Brian got me in with Ian. And then one of the first things to produce, Jeff, do you know anybody? Jeff,
Yeah.
you've got to know somebody. You probably know of something that may be interesting. Jennifer Eskew, the author, the ATF, I got her. I was like, here's Jennifer's number. Interesting story. You know, one of the earliest female state troopers in Virginia, teaches at Glencoe, ATF, all that. And that's how that happened.
Right, right. All right. Are you willing to take some live
Sure,
questions? All
sure.
right, I'm gonna open up a box for you guys. If I remember how. I think I remember how. Uh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. All right. So just click on the button. There we go. 5 survived 8. Thank you. Oh, and Jimmers, come on up. Ladies first. We'll do 5 survived 8. How are you?
Hello, Tat.
How are you? It's nice to see
How
you.
are, I'm good. Nice to see you guys. Jeff, I have a question.
Sure.
Um,
Jimmers, can you mute yourself while she's talking, please? Thank you.
I cover a case with she's now 14, she would be 14 years old. She was told that she was a runaway, and it's an open investigation, so I have to use allegedly, but we know that it's foul play involved. Uh, it's been 18 months and nothing has been said about the case. She was alleged to be SA'd and pregnant.
And
What's going on? It's like it's nothing coming out with this case, and uh, no one's talking about it. Like the FBI, you can call; they don't have anything. They came in 2 months after the fact that her mother said that she had ran away, which the Doc Ellis Foundation had issued a silver alert September the 5th. The feds came in, they turned them away. They had to go back and get a warrant on September the 5th. And they removed the 6 children and searched the home. They did say that she had on the clothing that the mother told so many different stories about. But
What state is this in? 5 survived 8.
this is in Shania McMichael Rogers went missing. Well, not missing. It's foul play. From Gary, Indiana,
Okay.
and on August the 12th, and it all played out on Facebook. When I say everything I have on that case is from Facebook. So
So
my question to you is like, yeah, go ahead, Tat.
she was reported missing.
No, a runaway at first.
She was reported a runaway. And
Hmm.
has she been found?
No, no.
But you think that
So
foul play is a part of this?
no, the FBI have concluded the foul play. The FBI came in 2 months later. A silver alert was issued October the 5th. No,
Hmm.
September the 5th. October is when the feds came in. They removed all the children out of the home. August, she went missing in August. September, she is when they moved all the kids out of the home.
So
I'm sorry, October.
are they looking at the mother?
Yes, she failed a lie detector test. I mean, this is all on Facebook, and I don't know. I guess that's the reason why we're not hearing a lot about it. But yeah, and her girlfriend lawyered up. Family members were talking about they had recordings all on Facebook. I'm just not understanding why there has not been any arrest at this point. You have all the family talking what they've seen. They have these recordings, and there hasn't been any arrest.
And
well,
they go ahead, Jeff.
No, they may have not have gathered enough evidence or even a lead. Um, did they suspect the mother actually did this, or a
Yes.
boyfriend or husband of the mother?
No, the mother and her girlfriend, um, they actually arrested her ex of her other six children because the Janiyah, who was missing, has a different father, which is her oldest. She has six other children who she was with this man for years. I guess they break up and she started dating her girlfriend now, who allegedly, it's so many people who allegedly essayed her. There's even people coming online saying, hey, yes, she was pregnant. And that's why the silver alert was issued, because of her being pregnant and people actually saying that she was pregnant.
Well, the FBI is not going to release anything unless it would be to an immediate family member. They're pretty tight-lipped to begin with. Um,
Right.
And so publicly, I don't think they typically release anything unless they thought it would benefit the investigation. You know, we need some help or leads or information. Um, so it could be as simple as that.
18
So
months, though?
how or, I'm sorry, why did they give a reason why they took the children out of the house?
Oh, they did not give a reason that I know of. I know that the children, prior to her going, prior to her disappearing, the mother was trying to get the children up to Child Protective Services, and it's text messages that one of her family members leaked to social media. They leaked photos of the house. They were living in total filth. It was so sad, and it
Okay,
was
so
right after.
there weren't
Mhm.
allegations of abuse, it was neglect.
Neglect, right? And
Okay.
I believe Child Protective Services was called on several occasions. But here's the hook: the biological aunt works for Child Protective Services.
Okay. Was she involved in the case or did she excuse herself?
She's still working.
But is she working on this case?
I don't believe so,
Okay.
but um,
And
it's
to,
I think that in itself is for the kids to be starving and going through all of this, and for them to the whole families to know that the kid that she wanted to give the kids up 2 months prior to Janiyah missing. It's a long paper trail
and then
on
two,
social media.
and two, you're dealing with juveniles, so there's going to be restrictions there about what they can release
Right.
and talk about.
Polly, this case is in Gary, Indiana.
Janiyah McMichael, her
I would,
father was alienated from her life. He was incarcerated, and he got out 2 months later.
is he pushing
He
this
was
now? Is that the push behind this?
Well, yes, he's pushing, but he had a PI that I kind of think wasn't a PI, but he didn't know. Who knows? He didn't know. He was alienated. His daughter went missing. He was on work release. He went to the jail, and they said, "Hey, she's for a mother. There's nothing you can do." He's been on my platform on several occasions, but now he like lays low. It's just overwhelming because you're trying to get the help you need, and sometimes with him talking, TikTok is very difficult.
Right.
And he was working with a PI that wasn't a PI, and he didn't know that. And now the PI is all over social media, even over here on TikTok. um, it's just been a mess, and they're
Do you
hurting
want
the case.
to send me everything that you have and I'll take a look at it and put a narrative together for you?
I have so much. I have so
That's
much.
okay.
It's
I
just,
don't mind.
yes, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
it's just frustrating because I've been talking about it. I came on your platform and I talked about it before,
I was wondering
and I
if this was
continue
the
to
same
push
one,
it.
and that was a while ago.
Yeah, yeah. I came to TikTok pushing her story. We were talking about the Naziah Harris case,
Yeah.
and not a lot of people knew about her case, but there were a lot of people willing to help, and they were turned away by the biological mother, who said she was a runaway,
Hmm.
and they were turned away by the person who the father, his mother, hired. She didn't know. They were just trying to find people to help. And so a lot of organizations was turned away.
And I will tell you a good lesson from this is that anytime you hire a private investigator, there are regulations. You should be able to easily look up their credentials, or demand credentials before you pay anybody any money. They should be easy to vet. There is a lot of, unfortunately, in this profession, a lot of nutty people that are caught up in TV shows and whatnot, who embellish their backgrounds. So you have to really be careful.
Yes, he actually didn't charge the mother. And you got to remember the biological father who was alienated from her life, it was his mother who found him. He wasn't paid. And so it's like everybody feels like they have rights to the story, just blast, just it's sad because like I'm just, really trying to do what I can do to keep her story out there. But then you have this, I guess he's let's say a bodyguard because he's not a PI. I've already gotten the reports I needed for him. It's sad. Like it's just sad. It's just really sad. And the grandmother has been out looking as well. Her and the father. But it's like this war of that's her daughter who she knows has something to do with it.
Family,
The
family
grand
ties,
mhm,
family ties.
and the
Yeah.
grandmother had a search team and they actually pew-pewed at the grandmother in the search team. So it's really deep.
Wow.
Wow.
If you want to use that link in my bio, send me everything that you have. I'll put
I
in
will.
through a timeline for you, like a generator and a narrator generator, and maybe it'll point out something that it's actually a beta app. I'm not going to sit on here and sell you anything. I promise. I'm in beta, but I built an app
I don't
that
even know
will
what
do
that
that.
is. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't even know what beta is.
It means that I'm building an app that I can put all my
Okay.
evidence in that builds a
Yeah.
timeline and a narrative and shows me where the holes are. But I'm
Hmm.
just in beta, but I'm looking for beta testers and I'm happy to use it on your case if you want me to.
Most definitely. Thank you so much. I mean, it's just
Absolutely.
so much. And like I said, everything's on social media. So if you was to put that baby's name in social media, you will see the family in so many interviews that came out on Facebook. It all played out on Facebook. And so I think what's his name? Lord and Arts. Have you guys heard of him? Lord and Arts. I think he's a
Uh,
podcaster, a really big podcaster. He took on a story.
have
And
you, I assume that you have everything. Hey, Tara, nice to see you. I assume you have everything from Facebook then, right? Downloaded?
Man, I have that and some more. I'll
Okay.
give you that. I'll tell you
Okay.
that much. But everything I have, the FBI
You don't
has.
mind me testing my app on it. This is
No,
actually the
no,
perfect
I
thing to
don't.
test it on. And if
I
anybody
need
works
all
in the
the
legal
help.
field or does true
Yeah.
crime or anything and you want to be a beta tester, just let me know. So anyway, there you
Yeah, I
go.
need all the help. I need all the eyes because I was noticing all these interviews and I just kept rewatching. And so when you rewatch, you hear different things.
Oh
And
yeah,
and
absolutely.
I go, a lot of times I do go off on the family members because I'm like, how is it possible that you're a mandated reporter? You work for Child Protective Services and these kids were going through all of this. How did this happen?
Yeah, that's called slipping through the cracks that we just outside of that, we just don't see any excuse for that, right?
I've never, I'm in the medical
Yeah.
field. I can't.
You're a
I tell her
mandatory reporter,
everything.
so you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Brittany Steele, if you'd like to be, or if anybody would like to be a beta tester, in my bio, there's a link says send a question or a case attached. Just send me your email and say I want to be a beta tester. It's probably going to be like the middle to end of March till I'm ready to bring people onto the website and say, here you go. Let me know what you think. And really, all it is it's going to be, input your searches, input your documents, and let me know about how you feel about what it spits out. So,
We appreciate you
So
coming up about that.
thank you so much. Thank you. I just wanted to ask you because I said he's a PI,
he's
right?
a real PI. He's an
Yeah.
expert
And
witness, all that. Yeah.
yes, he is. Yes, he
Well,
is.
it
Yes,
was
he
nice
is. So,
talking to you again.
yes, I will definitely send you everything. I mean, a lot's online, so a lot of what I have is online.
Uh-huh.
But I do have some text messages I can definitely share with you.
All right. That sounds great. Just send it through that link. And if you don't have,
I will.
If it doesn't give you enough space, just send me a message and I'll email you back with my email and we'll get together.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thanks for coming up.
You too. Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else want to come up and ask a question? That was interesting, wasn't it?
Sure. And I think an important lesson again is that there are a lot of nut jobs in every profession, but for some reason in private investigation, there is a lot of silliness, but you can vet them, Google search, look at their license, ask for their license number, ask if they're insured. All those questions are very easy to ask, like you would ask a plumber or electrician.
Or a date.
Yeah.
Look, we vet our dates harder than we vet our experts, right?
And if you're going to give somebody money, vet them.
Yeah. If you're going to give, well, never mind. How are you, Polly? It's nice to see you.
I'm good. Nice to see you too. Missed you. It's been a while.
It has been. I'm glad to hear that your arm's doing better. Sonia, we are taking open questions now. We were talking about Nancy Guthrie. We were talking about Karmelo Anthony, and now we're doing open questions. So if you have any questions, you can come up and ask. What you got for us, Polly?
Yeah, I have a question about CPS, the former, the last panelist brought up. I have a friend who is a preschool teacher in Arizona, and there have been some things going on with a 3-year-old girl that are very concerning. And the school, the preschool, both the principal and the teacher have reached out to CPS, and they've stated that they will not open an investigation unless the mother calls them. Why would that be?
I have no idea, because those are mandated reporters.
Right, they're mandated.
That don't
Right.
make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, what would you recommend she do?
Call the police.
Call the police?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Easy peasy. That was my question. I'll drop.
All right. Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank
Drop
you.
me. I don't know what I'm doing.
I got you. I got you.
All right.
All right. Anybody else want to come up, ask a question, or you can type it in the chat if you're Beth Watson, Privet. Thank you for that heart in my head. I saw what you said. I hope you're feeling better.
And I didn't want that to sound like I was an asshole. No, that would be my next step. Call law enforcement. Law enforcement gets involved. Then they will put pressure on CPS if there's any credence to the claims.
Well, I mean, what we forget is law enforcement are mandatory reporters too.
Sure.
Right. So if they hear that, they've got to report it to Childline, or that's what we use here in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure what it would be in Arizona, but the same thing, they're mandated reporters too. So if they hear that a minor child is being abused or there's allegations of abuse, they have to follow up on it. It's not a question of, they don't have, you know what I mean? When you're a mandated reporter, you don't get to use judgment. You hear it, you have to report it. You're a mandated. That's exactly what you have to do. And if she's a teacher, she's a mandated reporter. If you're a medical professional, you're a mandated reporter. If you're a law enforcement professional, you're a mandated reporter.
Exactly. And if law enforcement finds any credence in it, then they are obligated, just like in a domestic violence, to make an arrest or to further the investigation.
Now, Polly, remember, they can investigate it and find that it's unfounded, right, and not bring charges. But they at least have to make that report. Now, whether or not CPS follows up, I'm not sure. They get the report. I don't know how they would have to follow up. And I think that varies by state. So I don't know if a phone call is appropriate. I don't know if a home visit is appropriate. I'm not sure how it goes after that. Hey, Arthur, nice to see you.
And it depends on what's going on,
what the allegations are. Yeah, exactly. Actually, Red Gypsy, it is Monday. It is Monday. So what Red Gypsy is talking about is, did you mean to do that, Polly?
I was just going to provide more context based on your feedback there. So the student, it's a preschool. Oh, sorry.
No, not you. I'm saying, hang on, Red Gypsy. I'll answer your question after. Hey, Tita Silva. Go ahead, Polly.
So it is a preschool, which is still, I would suspect, mandatory reporter, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
And the student is 3 years old, and Female. She has exhibited like inappropriate behavior with a lot of the students, and they recently found out she was removed from her previous school because she, how should I say this, wrangled another student.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
at 3 years old.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so there's like inappropriate behavior and like contact with other, 3-year-old children in the school.
Right.
And CPS is saying the mom has to contact them. So it's just odd.
Well, yeah, Sarah Sue, I agree, but I also think it can be a trauma response as well.
Right, I agree. And that's what they feel like it is, a trauma response. Apparently the parents are separated, going through a divorce, but the father's still in the home. And initially the mom, when the school contacted them, said, "Oh, thank you for reaching out to CPS," but then she's refusing to report, like
Cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, what we were saying before, mandated reporting is one thing. CPS would then, whether or not they choose to take it to the next level, that's according to their policies and procedures.
Okay, so law enforcement is the answer.
Well, I don't know. Now that you've explained it a little bit, I don't know how far you would get with them if you give them that what's going on. I think, in my opinion, law enforcement would go, it's a behavioral problem. It's not, unless you can articulate some other issue that would go into the criminal realm. Tats, you tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, obviously it could be a trigger reaction. However, I think from the meat and potatoes of law enforcement, if you called up and I respond to the call and we've got Tats is smacking the crap out of boys in classroom, unless at 3 years old, they have no culpability or a mental state that would be elevated into an assault. So you've got not only age, but just behavior. So law enforcement may just slough it off. I don't know, Tats, what do you think?
So let me complicate this by bringing lawyers into it, right? And just to remind everyone, I'm not a lawyer. And if you wouldn't mind tapping the screen, we're at 13,000. I would love to get us to 25 before we're done here tonight. So just to bring lawyers into it, when you've got a 3-year-old assaulting another 3-year-old, right? If obviously that 3-year-old has no liability on her, right? Or him, but the people who are watching that 3-year-old has liability for possibly having negligent care. So you definitely want to report it. Now, we all, I think, as humans, we all have this bias that when a CPS report like that goes from a preschool to CPS, we always look at the family members, right? But that's not always what happens. It's not always the family members who are potentially abusing a child. And I think that's one thing that we need to, watch our knee-jerk reaction on it. Like, oh, the mom doesn't want to cooperate, so she must be culpable. It might just be that the mom's like, she's just an aggressive little girl, but something else may have happened that the mom doesn't even know about at that previous daycare, So, how do you find out what's going on in a 3-year-old's head? I mean, that's why we have experts and child psychologists and things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. It was the mom is aware, the parents are both aware of what happened at the previous school. And then what is happening now in the current school, where my friend is working, is like inappropriate, like,
right. I mean, the mom
sexual contact with the girl and like boys and stuff like that, initiated by the girl.
What I'm saying is they know what they've been told from the previous school. Do you know what I mean? And I'm in no way starting shit. Like, I'm in no way.
I know.
This is all alleged. This is all just hypothetical. This is all just Tat's brain, like my litigation stuff coming to mind. Because, there are litigation, how do we say it, pathways that could happen when one child abuses another child, even at the tender age of 3 years old, because they are putting them in that position, in that daycare. with the trust that you're going to take care of my child and you're going to keep them safe. Well, if the quote unquote predator is another 3-year-old or a 6-year-old that comes over unannounced or, unnoticed from another room, an older child, and does an unthinkable act, that's not something that you're going to write home to the 3-year-old's mom. You're just going to say, like there was inappropriate, or, they had some sort of contact. And if they don't want to dig and find out exactly what happened, sometimes that stuff goes unreported, right? And I'm not saying that's what's happening in this case, you guys. I'm just saying from a litigation standpoint, I've seen far too much. So
No, it worries me because I feel like these are the things that cause children to fall through the cracks.
right.
So she just doesn't know what to do next steps.
She has done everything that she's supposed to do. She's a mandatory reporter. She's reported it to CPS. If it continues, then she continues to report it to CPS. I mean, and I don't know, Jeff, how you feel differently. Do you feel like she should go to police? I mean, at this point, it seems like the system.
My gut would say the police aren't going to, they're going to slough her off pretty quick and say it's a administrative, behavioral, whatever. It's not reached a criminal unless you could articulate that the school, like you said, in of itself, for lack of supervision or doing their job, is allowing abuse to occur.
But see, that's not criminal. That's civil.
Sure.
Right.
So the police are going to tell you that's not criminal. We don't have any jurisdiction over that. Go hire a lawyer.
It's very, this is, not to change it. I had a case a few years back where a family contacted me. Their grandma was in a nursing home. And in this nursing home, there was a grandpa. They all had dementia. And grandpa was hooking up with the grannies in the nursing home. And they got wind of it and were very upset. And, I explained to them, because of their mental status, just like a 3-year-old, it's not elevated to a criminal thing. However, I have a problem with the nursing home letting grandpa roam the halls, messing with grannies. And they're all out of their mind. I mean, they all had dementia. And I learned in that particular case, excuse me, in Virginia, the nursing home lobby is very strong, and it is illegal to put a nanny cam or any recording device in a nursing home room of your own relative.
Wow, I did not know that.
Exactly.
So anybody in Virginia, do not put a nanny cam in your grandparents' house.
That was my next step, and I always researched the code, and I was like, this lobby is extremely powerful. And think about it. You don't want a lot of things documented. Now, that's not to say that some people haven't done that, but it's not admissible in court under that statute. However, some people had released things via social media that they had captured.
Right. LLN, I've heard of that before at nursing homes, that they segregate them when they're single. Like my grandparents went into a nursing home together, so they were on like a co-ed floor, I guess. It was almost like college. But then once my grandfather passed away, they moved my grandmother into a woman's wing. I would be moving out of Virginia. Thank you, Jimmers, for reminding everyone to tap. Polly, anything else before?
Yeah, no, y'all can go ahead and drop. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the extra context on that.
Yes.
Have a good night. All right. How you feeling, Jeff? Okay, Red Gypsy, before I forget. So Red Gypsy's question was about the AUSA appealing. Judge Garnett's order came down on January 30th. She gave them 30 days, which will be up on Monday. So technically, I think it's up on Saturday, 30, 31, 28. I think it's up over the weekend. But when it's on a weekend or a holiday, it pushes to the next legal day. So they have till Monday to file. This is in Luigi Mangione's case. The order that came down dismissing counts 3 and 4 and therefore dismissing the death penalty. They have till Monday to file that appeal. They don't have to, but if they're going to do it, they have until Monday, which means if they're going to do it, nobody in the AUSA's office has a weekend coming up. So anyway, I know that from experience.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else want to come up, or anyone else have any other questions? Jeff, anything for you to add?
No, like I said, I was telling earlier about the Guthrie case. I've got my people that I talk to quite frequently. I'm trying not to be a pain in the ass. If I do find something out, they are, I will say this. I do find things out that I don't say. And I can say this now. I was aware that there was technology being utilized to try to track the pacemaker. I did not say much about that.
Right.
They told me not specifics. My people said that people out there are very upset because the sheriff apparently they had technology, but they needed to use the sheriff's department aircraft to kind of implement that quicker. And the sheriff, in his zeal to show that they're doing something, revealed that technology, which, if she is still with us, you could get rid of it.
Sorry, I just read that. I read that Beef J Ferguson comment. Let me answer a couple of questions here. Annie123, could that be the sealed document that was posted? No, I think the sealed document has something to do with discovery or the non-dissemination order. So somebody's name they don't want published, or a witness, like a subpoena to a witness or something like that. I think it's a routine discovery matter. If they're going to appeal, that would definitely not be sealed. Arfis is Jimmers. Why no ransom? What do you mean, why no ransom? There's $1 million ransom there's $1 million reward that Savannah Guthrie actually put out a couple of days ago. And then Big T has a question for you, Jeff. She's getting her PI license. Do you have any advice?
It depends on what state you're in. If she's asking what you have to go through. So if you're starting from scratch, you either are going to work for a law firm or you're going to work for a company. Unlike me, I started my business. I had enough credentials to be able to meet the regulations in Virginia to have my own company. So it depends on what, a lot of people see on TV. Hey, I want to be a PI. You can get a registration or a license. However, most states require you to have more credentials to have your own business, or you can work for an insurance company. You can work for a law firm. Some of my law firms have on staff investigators. They will still utilize me because their own staff guys don't want to go do surveillance or in the field. They're mainly managing it from the office.
Right. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. That's a good point. Big T, insurance companies would be a great place for you to start once you get your PI license. You guys know I work for a big law firm, like a nationwide law firm. We do have staff investigators in our law firm, like we have staff nurses and things like that. But we still go outside of the law firm because if, like, say we need someone to come in and testify, we don't want one of our employees testifying because that shows bias. So you have people who do like work behind the scenes, which would be inside of a law firm. But then when we need someone to go outside, we would hire somebody like Jeff.
What is BJ saying? Come on, Jeff, about my pacemaker.
He said, Jeff, I have a pacemaker you can trace any day.
Oh.
Red Gypsy, you think the feds will appeal? I can't imagine the feds would stick to stalking only. They're either going to appeal or try to indict him on something else, but I agree with you. I don't think they're going to.
Is Beef J a woman or a man?
I don't know who that is. I've never met them before. I thought that was one of your friends, to be quite honest with you. Yep, the sniffer was used twice and once over the landfill. Yes. Actually, they did a grid search in the landfill as well.
I do worry that is an option that someone could have done, thrown her in a dumpster. And by this point, I don't know what they do, but by this point, she could be feet under debris and trash.
In landfill.
Yeah.
Yeah. My fear, and there was some reporting where they were looking over in Mexico with everything that's going on in Mexico. if Mexico does not calm down soon, I really do fear that they're going to have a civil war on their hands. But if she is over in Mexico or somehow is connected with Mexico or was even taken just across the border, that's going to complicate this case so much. Jimmers, there was a $6 million Bitcoin ransom. That was, I think it was the day after she was reported missing. It was reported to two local news agencies and TMZ. TMZ is the only one who went live with it, or I guess they went first with it. And then since then, there have been other letters to TMZ. I think there's been like half a dozen of them. Some of them are for ransom and some of them are saying, hang on just a second, Sarah Sue, thanks for coming up. Some of them are for ransom and then some of them were saying, hey, I have information, but you need to pay me for this information. Thank you, Polly. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys could get this to 25K before we leave, I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys for all the gifts, all the taps. I appreciate you. Don't forget Jeff over here. You're welcome, BT.
Was it you or somebody else? Were you having a trip planned to Mexico?
No, I'm going to the Bahamas in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I do go to Mexico at least once a year. I won't be going this year. I can tell you that. But I usually go to Cozumel and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's Costa Maya. Sorry. I used to go to Costa Maya. I used to go to Honduras, then Costa Maya, and then Cozumel. And if you haven't ridden an ATV through the jungles of Cozumel, you don't put it on your bucket list, but not when they're having a civil war.
Can I just come up to sing a song? I don't want to go to Mexico no more, more, more. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But I just come up to say hi and that I appreciate everything that y'all do, and just to check on y'all.
Thank
Jeff,
you.
I actually followed you, Jeff. Now,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I vetted you enough since you've been on my friends live enough. I said, oh, maybe he's a pretty cool guy. Okay, whatever.
Look, if you've been vetted by Sarah Sue, then you've been vetted.
I took you to the altar, Jeff.
If you Google Jeff Pike, there are three of us. There's the president of the Banditos Motorcycle Club that's serving life. That's
why I was worried a little.
There's the Jeff Pike. There's the Jeff Pike who is the Jimmy Buffett tribute singer, and Jeff Pike is the private investigator.
Well, do you sing any Jimmy Buffett?
No.
Okay.
I will take that back. I almost met Jimmy Buffett in Jamaica one time. I was flying into an airstrip, and we circled around, and the plane was taken off of a dirt strip. And I asked the pilot, of course, I was sitting next to him. I was like, wow, that's a seaplane. Who's got one of those here? And he goes, oh, that's that guy. He's got the restaurant here. He comes down every Christmas. He's got the Margaritaville restaurant. I was like, Jimmy Buffett? He was like, yeah. So we landed, and there's a little shed there, and there was some people standing around there like, you can't believe who we just met. I was like, Jimmy Buffett? They're like, oh, yeah, he just took off in his seaplane.
Oh, my gosh. That's crazy. That is crazy.
He has his own resort in the Bahamas. I walk past it every time I go there.
Well, I tell my children, because I don't want my children to take care of me when I'm old and decrepit. I told them to either put me in a cardboard box on the beach or send me to a retirement home, because I believe Jimmy Buffett has some kind of retirement home village. I don't know. I might have had a fever dream and made that up, but I think it's a really cool idea if not. And I told them just to send me there. So,
is anyone else glitching, or is it just Polly? No, it's just you, Polly, but that's okay. We love you anyway. Well, Sarah Sue, thank you so much for coming up and saying hello.
Oh, you did.
You know that I adore you, and the fact that you vetted Jeff just made my night.
I did. I was worried about the whole motorcycle thingy. I was a little worried. But, do you ride a bike or anything?
Yeah, I do ride, but I'm not the president of the Banditos serving life for murder.
Well, I just had to be careful because, listen, you talked to my friend a lot, and I was a little concerned for my friend.
Your friend knows how to vet people, too. So
yeah. I know, but still, it doesn't mean that I can't do, I just took you to the Lord. That's the vetting I did. I took you to the Lord, Jeff. I said, Lord Jesus, please don't let this guy be something he's not to my friend.
Thank you so much.
I need all the help I can get.
Well, listen, let me just tell you a quick story, and then I'm going to get off here, I swear. We'll get us to 25,000 because I talk a lot. So I go to church, I mean, like I'm a Christian. Now I'm not the best Christian in the world. I'll stumble, fall, all the things. Don't look up to me at all for that. But I told my friends on here that I would go to the altar and pray for them. Well, I called their names out audibly. Oh, and one of her names, I didn't know her name for real, but it was Coochie, and I just so happened to call it out audibly. Hi, baby girl. I called it out audibly, and my pastor was standing right beside me. So, I just like the Lord knows my heart, right?
Would you say pray for my coochie?
Well, I kind of did, yeah. It was kind of to that effect, and it just didn't sound great.
Oh, Sarah Sue, that would only happen to you, darling. That would only happen to you. Well,
It would.
I think God has a sense of humor. So
Lord, I hope so. I hope so.
And I think God also knows about social media and our tags. So I think you're okay.
Well, I hope so.
And
Right.
even if you're not, now you have prayed for your coochie.
I prayed for my coochie.
I'm trying to look at the
right,
silver
yeah.
lining.
Yeah, silver lining. But there's another person on here. His name is Core, but I call him Crotch. And so now it's the running joke that I'm going to pray for my coochie and crotch at church.
Sarah, where's that accent from? Tennessee, Kentucky?
That'd be from Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Woo pig, yeah. But the longer I hang around with people, the more like I start talking like them. So it waxes and wanes of where I'm from. So
Holly has asked for you to please pray for hers too.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we pushed the bounds of TikTok.
I mean, I'll just pray.
I'll just pray for everybody. How's that?
Yes, I'll pray for everybody's whole bodies. Okay, no, we won't get specific to anymore. She actually came back and told me her name, so now I can actually take her name to the Lord instead of hollering out Coochie because my husband said they're going to kick us out of church. I said, well. But anyway, okay, well, enough of me. And
I cannot thank you enough for sharing that with us.
There you go, 25,000 off.
There you go.
See?
Called it.
All right, kick my butt down. It was so good to talk to y'all. Love y'all.
It was too. Have a great night, love. See you later.
Bye-bye.
And you never know what's going to happen on live.
That's funny. That is funny.
She's amazing. All right, last call. Jeff, do you have any last
No, nothing exciting at all. That's about all I know.
Last call for anybody who wants to come up, ask a question. If if we missed it in the chat, just go ahead and drop it again real quick. I think big things this week. I don't know if I want to bring BJ Ferguson up. Do you know who that is, Jeff?
No, not right off.
Yeah, we're gonna play it safe. I don't need any violations on my.
And I will apologize. I am the worst about names. I deal with so many people and so many. Unless it's going on consistently, if it's a day later or a week later, and you go, hey, what about this or that? I am terrible at that.
Oh, hold on, Arthur's vouching for her. We'll gamble tonight.
Bring her up.
Hello.
Hi, darling.
Hello. You have us nervous. This is our nervous look.
I can tell.
So you want Jeff? You want Jeff to?
I have been watching Jeff since he started out on his front porch.
Yeah, thanks.
With your two dogs. I just find you both fascinating, and I learn a lot from you guys.
Thank you very much.
Nothing big. I know you got nervous.
No, just because you were asking him to sniff your pacemaker earlier, but.
Oh, no. Told him he could watch my pacemaker anytime if something happens to me. Yes, indeed.
Well, they had to whatever that sniffer thing was, the man who invented it actually recalibrated it specifically for a pacemaker before putting it on the end of that hook that they hung out of the helicopter. So if anybody could do that, it would be this guy right here.
Well, I have not that. I have a defibrillator.
That's different.
So it would surely be better
Shocking.
watched than that. A defibrillator is better watched than a pacemaker. Yeah.
So does it give you little shocks every
And
now
I
and then?
told, no, it didn't give me a shock yet, but Jeff has. Jeff could watch mine anytime.
There you go, Jeff. Maybe you guys could
I
slide
think
into
he's handsome.
you could
Thank
slide
you.
into his DMs, get his phone number. You guys could have a little TikTok love
No,
match.
Jeff's not like that.
Thank you for the compliments. Unlike a lot of the compliments off of my podcast that critiqued my appearance severely.
I think it was the
Well,
glasses.
I think you're handsome. There's no chance in hell that this dog will hunt, but I just love meeting you.
Thank you. I'm very flattered.
If you want his phone number, just DM me and I'll send it.
No, honey, that's okay.
If you want my phone number, you can just hit Google. You can pull up my office
That's true.
number.
It's
and my
okay,
cell phone
darling.
number.
That's
It's
true.
okay, darling.
That was adorable, though. Thank you, BJ, for
Thank
coming
you.
up.
You're welcome,
I
honey.
do appreciate that. I really do.
I just still think you're handsome.
Thank you very much.
I hope you have a great night, BJ. And I
You
hope that
too, darling. You
and
too,
I hope
honey.
you never need that defibrillator.
Oh, honey. No, I'm getting a new battery next month, so this dog will hunt.
There you go. Next month you can come and you can hunt Jeff Pike next month.
No, we don't do that.
All right,
We
darling.
don't do that.
You have a good evening. It was nice to
You
meet
too,
you.
honey.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Wow.
Wow. I don't even know which one was better, Sarah Sue or BJ.
It's kind of funny as a man, for me personally, I don't get a lot of people going, wow, Jeff, you're hot or you're handsome or whatever, which is very flattering. And I appreciate that.
Violetta Mezzanotte, this is Probable Cause Live. Jeff and I are live every Thursday at 7 p.m. We used to have Brian with us, but Brian is a little bit busy now. There's Jules.
There you go.
Hello.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Can I tell everybody your news real quick?
Yeah.
You guys are looking at the latest holder of a press pass to Luigi Mangioni's hearing.
Oh, wow.
Right here. Press pass.
What do those things sell for?
You can get them for free on eBay.
Why not?
Yeah, right?
Once you get it, how much is it going to sell for?
Oh,
It only costs you 6 court hearings. That's it.
Are they specifically assigned, or can you sell or trade them? Could you give Tats yours and she could get in?
No, her picture.
No, it has your name on there, your picture on there.
You have to apply for it. They don't just you have to apply for it.
But it's not as hard as one may think it is.
Well, historically down the road, that could be worth a lot of money on Antiques Roadshow.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Make sure you pass it down to your grandkids, Jules.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Did you I'm sorry, I kind of took over your thunder. Did you have a question?
I am just thinking about tomorrow, and tomorrow's the deadline for the appeal.
Monday.
Monday?
Monday.
Oh, I thought it's tomorrow, the 27th.
30 days from the 30th. So that actually falls on Monday.
So the entirety of Monday as well.
Yeah, so really Tuesday. Because, they have a history of, well, you know what? The prosecutor would probably file it like at 5 p.m., so Monday night.
Yeah.
Luigi's attorneys have a history of filing them at like midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think the chances are of them appealing it at this point?
I am still 50-50. I don't think they're just going to let it go. I think that's too big of an L for them to take. I don't think they'll let it go. Whether it's an appeal or try to charge him with something like less than, that doesn't include the death penalty, but still is more than stalking. I don't know. I mean, this is so politically charged. I just don't see them letting it go. I just don't see I'm like 50-50 on which direction that they'll take. And I don't know enough about Sean Buckley and his history to know and whether or not he's being steered a certain way by Bondi or anybody else in the administration. I mean, we all saw Bondi last week or 2 weeks ago in Congress, right? You really think that woman's going to take an L laying down?
At the same time, I feel like she's got bigger fish to fry now than like Luigi, you know? I feel like, why do I feel like she's like forgotten about him, you know, for some reason?
You know why? Because of the whole media circle, the whole media cycle. It's the same reason. I don't know if you follow the Aaron Spencer case, but when Aaron Spencer first got arrested and they slapped that huge gag order on him and he didn't get it taken off until the following March, nobody wanted to hear about it because the actual crime occurred the October before, right? 6 months later, nobody's talking about what happened 6 months in the media. So that's why you hear about Aaron Spencer on social media, but you don't hear about him in the actual press unless he goes to court and things like that. So
the exact same question, Tats. What are they appealing now?
So on this is in Luigi Mangioni's federal case on January 30th, Judge Garnett issued an order striking counts 3 and 4. That's the murder charge and the firearms charge from the indictment. And that also took away the death penalty. And that left him with counts 1 and 2, which are interstate stalking charges.
Because I was talking to my friend Ginger is also like reporting on this on TikTok, and she was with me. And I mean, this is just like the way they are in court, right? But she was saying that's another way to tell that they're probably not going to appeal. But I'm like, I don't know. I just think that that's what you do. Basically, they were like the prosecution and the lawyers were shaking hands at the end of that.
It's just professional.
That's what I thought.
Now,
exactly, professionalism.
Answer me this. Did Joel shake hands with KFA or Mark at the end of the last state hearing?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So I think that it was more, he was probably congratulating KFA, to be quite honest with you, because that is a huge win.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to let it lie.
Like a good game.
It is, yeah, basically, yeah. Like when after a baseball game, when you slap hands and go into the dugout. But that doesn't mean that you're going to lay down and, you know, if you have a doubleheader, the next game, you're not going to do anything, right?
That's what I was thinking.
That was a shit show hearing, Red Gypsy. It was, I like to say it was contentious, but Jules was actually there, so she could tell you whether or not it was a shit show. What do you mean by divisible, Sexy Twerky? You mean like he could be convicted of a lesser charge?
Hey, girl.
And
what about Luigi? That's what we're talking about, BJ.
And I think they're getting confused. This is on the federal level. Well,
he's got federal. Yeah, the appellate decision that's due on Monday is in the federal case.
Yeah, exactly.
The state case was the shit show that was a couple of weeks ago, where it was a little bit contentious. Although, like I said, Jules was there so she could tell you.
I think that's what's confusing a lot of people, not realizing there's 2 separate entities.
There's actually 3. If you really want to confuse yourself, there's 3. There's Pennsylvania State, New York State, and then the federal case, which is in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah, I didn't think about PA.
Yeah, you don't anymore.
PA is where it all started. PA is so important. It's overlooked, but it's so important. That's where all that evidence came in. And you should know that, Jeff, because you and I have a bet on whether or not.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pay me $1 because
I am. I'm going to lose that bet after Judge Caro. Yeah, after what Judge Caro did the last hearing, I'm going to lose that bet.
They ain't going to exclude that.
It was so bad. I was just on the phone with my friend who knows none of this or has any updates, and I was trying to explain to her. She was like, she was talking back to the judge. I'm like, well, you kind of have to in a way to get your point across. But it's so painful to watch, hey? You're just it's like, I don't know. You're watching somebody grovel. And that's why I commented on your video, and I was like, this just seems so childish, you know?
That's what court. I love it. I've seen
I didn't want to say it because it's actually my profession, but I'm glad Jeff did.
I love it. I've seen attorneys yelling at each other. I've seen them yell at the judge. I've seen the judge yell at them.
I've seen attorneys being put in contempt.
It was almost like she was trying to convince her grandfather of something, you know, Grandpa, please listen, you know?
Yeah, you're not listening to me.
I saw a judge one time jump up and was like, I'm tired of this back and forth. I'm taking a recess, and y'all decide if I'm going to be the judge or not, and stormed out.
I've had judges say, like, I'm going to take a recess, and when I come back, I expect 2 adults in front of me and not 2 children. I have heard judges say stuff like that. Yeah. Luigi has nothing. His case has nothing to do with what happened in Mexico. No. Sexy twerker, yes, they will have to prove every element. I think that's what you're trying to say. Every element of those stalking charges, which we're going to go over on live. I'm not going to bore Jeff. Jeff can't stand this case. So I'm not going to bore him with it, but they're going to have to prove every single element of those stalking charges beyond a reasonable doubt in order for him to be convicted of each one. And that's why I think they're going to have a problem with those 2 charges. But I also think that's why they're not just going to let it lie. Sophie Peterson, what happened with what? Yeah, he did not yell.
Yeah, he didn't yell.
He just stated something to the judge. Yeah. And I think, Sexy Twerker, you were there as well, right? Because you're the one who told me they didn't even like pull him away when he was talking to the judge.
Ron is here too. All of my line buddies are here right now. That's so great.
Is that NYC for yelling him?
Yep, that's Ron. Ron is a great guy.
Ron, okay. Can I just call you Ron too? Because sometimes I can't get those out.
He's
hey, pierogies.
He's on Twitter too as Free LM. What is it, Ron? It's Ron Free LM NYC.
Jules, can you demonstrate how he said it? Because other people said he did yell. That'd be great, Jules.
Well, I mean, I'm not as attractive.
Stop. Oh my God.
He was like, oh, I noticed it like halfway through what he was saying because I literally thought it was like a marshal at first telling us to like where to go or what to do, you know? And because he wasn't yelling, but he was like speaking above like the people, like the clamor, like he wanted to be heard, you know? But he just was like 1 + 1. He's like, I just want to say this the right way. It sounded like the way you would just tell someone like, duh, like this is stupid, you know what I mean? Like he just said, now it's been like a month. One plus, I was just saying it to my friend on the phone. It's so funny. And I was trying to remember exactly how he said it. He just said, 1 + 1 = 2. This is the same trial twice. Like this is double jeopardy by any common sense. Yeah, I think
that was it, right? Yeah.
It was just very like, duh, like why, like this doesn't make any sense, you know?
I just want to go on record as an Italian and let you guys know that sometimes we're just talking and it sounds like we're yelling, but we're not yelling. We're just
yeah.
We talk loud. Like we get, especially when we get worked up, we talk loud.
Yes, it was definitely like abrupt because it was like a louder voice than like, because we were all kind of talking amongst each other. We were all upset about the judge being like, I think I'm trying to remember if he like hit his gavel or not, if it was that cinematic. But Sexy Twerker can remind me.
Sexy Twerker, do you want to come up?
They're probably not going to want to come up.
It's okay if you don't want to.
Like
it was an appropriate volume for the room size, no gavel. Okay.
He said
exactly. No gavel. Okay.
He said it fantastically loud enough for people.
I mean the gavel after he told KFA like
be ready on
do a good job in this as well, and Junie, that's it. I thought he hit the gavel then to like shut her up, you know.
I will tell you that I have never seen a judge do that. I have never seen a judge where one of the parties says, Judge, we're not going to be ready by that date. I've never seen a judge say, be ready by that date.
She said, and I feel like I'll never forget it because she said, we did a good job in these cases or in these, I don't know, in these hearings or whatever. And he's like, good, you'll do a good job here then, Juneth. And we were all just like, and we're all like talking amongst each other. And that's when like a voice.
Yeah. And not only that, this is, the prosecutor asked for July 1st. So he not only granted what the prosecutor wanted, he moved it back or forward, however you want to look at it, 3 weeks. Like that's the whole trial when you think about it. 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, we were so shocked. Like we were ready for them to argue on the July date, and then he's like June 8th, and we were just we had no time to process before he like started talking, and then we had to process both things, and like it was like I felt like I had to sit down for another 15 minutes, and the court officers were like, "You guys got to go." We're like, "How?" Like,
wait, we got to process.
Yeah, the most insane day. But
the Red Gypsy, that would have been it. Thank you guys. 30,000 likes. You guys are amazing. That would have been at the last state hearing a couple of Fridays ago when Joel asked for the trial to start July 1st. This was right after Judge Garnett published her dates for the federal case. And they were kind of going back and forth and saying, we're not going to be ready. And then Pierogies asked, if a party says they need more time, is it unfair for the judge to say too bad? That's a good question. It totally depends on why they need more time. In this case, the fact that there's a parallel prosecution going on and the fact that the federal judge has overlapping dates, then I believe, in my opinion, it does fall under unfair. However, if one party's just lollygagging through depositions or discovery and not turning stuff over or not preparing motions in limine or not adhering to the court timelines, things like that, then it is not unfair for the judge to say, we're going whether you're ready or not because I'm tired of you guys pissing around. And I've heard judges say that too.
Yeah,
it's so intense.
Continuances are not an uncommon thing, and you have to, at least in the jurisdictions that I go to court in, you have to have a legit reason.
Yeah.
Most of the time, continuances are change of attorneys. There's a change of an attorney, and I've seen a million attorneys get up in court and go, "Your Honor, I just got this yesterday." They changed attorneys,
right,
and they'll give continuances.
In state court, if both parties agree to the continuance, it's generally granted.
Yeah.
In federal court, even if both parties agree to the continuance, the judge is still going to want a hearing, and they're going to want to know why you haven't adhered to their timeline.
And the cool thing, where Tats is in PA, just like I'm in Virginia, we're both Commonwealths. So there's a little bit of quirkiness with a Commonwealth compared to some other states.
Yep. It's what the hell. I don't know, BJ, what is the hell? I don't know what you're saying. Voir dire must take forever for the, yeah. Yeah, it will, Pierogies. April is when they're meeting in the federal case to go over jury questionnaires that they're going to mail out beforehand. And then they're going to have to bring those back, get those back, sort them, go through them, and then send out summons for the actual jury to come in for voir dire, the jury panels to come in for voir dire. So you're looking at months of voir dire.
What does that mean?
To tell the truth, it's basically jury selection when they ask people questions about their biases towards the case. And anybody,
yeah, I'm learning so much myself. So
yeah, I'll tell you a funny story, Jules. If you want to sit up here for that, you can, or you can.
Oh yeah, no.
So, one of the last trials in Georgia that I did involved. We had a partner out of Valdosta, Georgia, which is in the southern part of the state. We had he wasn't a part of our firm, but he was part of the case. Like he was another attorney in the case, and he was from Macon, Georgia. And then, of course, the attorney that I worked for was in North Georgia, and the attorney that I worked for was actually negotiating with the judge. The judge was trying to get us. This was a civil case. Was trying to get us to settle before voir dire. And the guy from Macon and I were talking, and he's like, "It's voir dire. It's voir dire." And he had like a real thick Southern accent. And I said, "What are you talking about? Like it's voir dire." And he goes, "If I went into the courtroom down in Macon and I said voir dire, the judge would tell me to take my pretty pink little panties out of his courtroom and come back and I was a man."
Wow.
So then it gets even better. So then the partner from Valdosta who hadn't heard this conversation. I said, come over here a minute. I said, what do you call it when you question the jury? And he goes, jury selection.
I'm French too. I was going to say my family is from Quebec, so it's like that's so funny that they'd be saying it wrong.
Yeah, voix dire is how they say it in South Georgia.
It sounds very Southern though.
It's very it's actually
probably like it's the Cajun pronunciation, right. You know.
I will never forget him saying, the judge would tell me to take my pretty pink panties, because very shortly after that he became an AUSA in the Southern District of Georgia.
Oh wow.
And when that happened and they announced it, like we got an email and stuff, and I was like, I will never be able to walk into that courtroom and look at him and be like, do you have pretty pink panties on? So, yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah. Hey, James Anderson. All right. Jeff, any last thoughts? Please don't talk about pretty pink panties.
No, it reminded me of the time that I worked a domestic case, and I determined that the wife did not have a boyfriend. She had a girlfriend. And we went to court and with the court reporter, and they were arguing, and I had evidence that she had a girlfriend, and they were arguing adultery. And the judge said, if there ain't a penis involved, it ain't adultery.
Oh my God.
Wow. Oh my God.
What state is this?
Virginia.
Okay.
He said,
below the Mason-Dixon line.
Uh-huh.
If there ain't a penis involved, it ain't adultery. And I'm like, there went my client's $3,000 they just spent on me.
Wow, that's crazy. Valdosta or one of our companies, very strong Southern. Although I think, Lainey, that Macon has a stronger Southern accent, if you ask me. There's something about, because Valdosta is real close to Florida. You know what I mean? Violetta Mezzanotte, my lives are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Sunday. So it's kind of like the vowels, and sometimes why.
Other than that inappropriate comment, I'm good.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to finish answering these questions, and then I'm going to jump off too.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good night, Jeff.
Bye.
Thanks for being here. Are you hopping off too, Jules?
I don't have to.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
LLN, what is Caro going to think when he finds out that Weinstein hired the Agnafillos? They actually represented, are you talking about Harvey Weinstein in his appeal? Is that what you're talking about? Because I just had a brain fart and I was thinking AJ and not Agnafillo. Yes. Oh, for his Harvey. I mean, okay. I don't understand why Judge Caro would care. He also represented P. Diddy, right? Kaplan and Mark are on the Weinstein appeal now. Yeah. That's not surprising considering what he got for Diddy. Jacob and Mark are now representing Weinstein. I'm not surprised. All right. Jules, it was so nice having you up here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Beautiful. Isn't she gorgeous?
Oh gosh. Thanks.
You think that's why, LLN? I mean, you have a little crush on, okay, that's fair.
I didn't at first, but then he spoke to us in court and he was so charming and funny about it, about the accounts being dropped. And I was like, I see it now. I see it.
Jacob? Are you talking about Jacob?
The wit. Yeah.
Got it.
I love that moment. That was probably one of my favorite moments.
You're late, Stacy. That's okay. Does Jacob have a New York accent? Do you think Jacob has a New York accent? I don't think he does.
No.
I don't think so. Because they said they don't have capacity for state and fed at Wines, but now they have Weinstein. I hear what you're saying, sexy twerker, but I think it's a little different. First of all, this is an appeal and they have the rest of, so take Luigi out of it. All right. And let me talk to you about what would happen in our cases. So even though my attorney has a trial that starts next week, right? That doesn't mean that he can't take a new client on this week, right? So what that means is, okay, I'm going to sign this client and then I'm going to go to trial next week. And while I'm on trial, my paralegal, my associate, the law clerk, they're all going to work this behind the scenes. And then when I'm done with my trial, or when he's done with his trial, then my boss is going to come in, do what he needs to do. And then he has another trial in 2 weeks. So then once he does what he needs to do, then he's going to go do that trial. Do you see what I mean? Like it's a team effort. So just because you have a trial coming up doesn't preclude you from taking more work. What I will say about Luigi's case is a little bit different because it is the same client at the same time in 2 different jurisdictions for the same actions. So where that differs is, okay, yes, you can still Carol can't say anything about taking on new clients. I mean, if you only had one client, what do you do with your law firm once that client either pleads guilty or goes to trial? Then you have no work and your law firm closes. It's a business just like everything else. Mm-hmm. The difference with Luigi is it's 2 cases at the same time where he's going to have to be in 2 jurisdictions or 2 courtrooms, sometimes at the same time, sometimes with witnesses on the stand. And he's not going to have the benefit of being in front of those witnesses and add to his defense, assist in his defense. But good question. I wouldn't imagine judges expecting someone to take on clients. Yeah, you can't. Weinstein begins March 3rd. Is that his appeal, though, Sexy Twerker? Is that an oral argument with his appeal? Or is that a trial? He didn't get a new trial, did he? Tommy, that's actually not accurate. Depends on the attorney, I guess. It's a new trial and it starts on March 3rd. And they just hired him today. That doesn't sound right. If they just hired him today, you know what, Sexy Twerker, let me look it up. Let me not presume anything. Let me look it up and see. When was he convicted? That would be like a habeas at this point, right? Yeah. Well, it's a retrial. Did he have a habeas that came back from the appellate court? I don't remember hearing that. Is it an actual trial or is it an appeal for a new trial? Like that, there's a difference in that. I'll take a look at it. I'll look it up. All right. I have had a hell of a day, but you have made my day coming up here, Jules. And one of these days I am going to get both LLN, Sexy Twerker, and Mangione Nation. You guys are all going to come up here.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Thank you so much. What's your name? Ron. Now I can call you Ron. I gotta assign that to your tag, but thank you. I appreciate you saying that. That is
great.
At my core, I have always wanted to be an educator. So when you guys tell me stuff like that, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, you help break it down, girl.
Thank you. Well, I'm so glad. I'm hoping that I'm sitting next to you in the press pool, but at least for a couple of days. Arthur, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm very excited too. I can't, I've just made so many press friends too, right? So my one friend is she does the court sketches, and I'm always wanting to sit with her, but she's like in press, and I don't know. I have a few people in there that I'm like very much looking forward to sitting next to. So
you'll be there. I will definitely be there for 2 days for the federal case and 2 days for the state case. More if I can, but I have put aside those PTO days specifically for Luigi's case.
And hopefully Sexy Twerker will be joining us in the pit as well. So
yes, absolutely. Pierogies, you're going to law school? Oh my
yes,
God.
Jarva.
My dad would be so proud of you, Pierogies. He might want you as his offspring instead of me. Yeah, we'll see. We'll absolutely see. Okay, I have got to go wind down for the night because I am all over the place. But it was really great having you up here, and thank you so much.
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. Yep. So be good to yourselves. Be good to those around you. Thank you guys for the 31,000 taps. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for all the comments and participating tonight. I really appreciate it. I will see you late night, late Friday night. Tats will be tomorrow night. Maybe we'll have something. I will definitely look up Weinstein, Sexy Twerker before that, and we'll at least talk about that if we don't have anything on Luigi till Monday. So
yeah, let's schedule a Luigi live with just Luigi people.
Okay.
Supporters. We should do that.
We should do that. We can. Yeah. It's called my regularly scheduled lives during the week.
Yeah.
Whenever they're in court. Yeah. Good night, Sexy Twerker. Have a good night, Jules.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.